Hello everyone, my name is Muhindo Jennifer and I welcome you to this course about permanent and temporary changes. By the end of this chapter or by the end of this lesson, the learner should be able to understand that many substances undergo permanent change when they are heated or burnt, forming new materials, while other substances change temporarily. Also, the learner should be able to recognize temporary or what we call reversible changes and permanent or irreversible changes to matter undergo different conditions. In our introduction, think of growth from childhood to adulthood, boiling an egg, digestion of food and decomposition of matter, burning firewood, lighting a candle, and other changes. All these processes in our daily life undergo changes that is either permanent or temporary. As you can see here, the pictures, the picture for boiling eggs. Then here, a picture showing from growth to adulthood. So all these are processes in our daily life, but they are processes which undergo changes that is either permanent or temporary. Let us begin with permanent changes, or what we call chemical changes, or what we call irreversible changes. Anyway, what is a permanent change? A permanent change is a change in which a new substance is formed. Is a change in which a new substance is formed. The original substance transforms into completely different one with new chemical properties. Here you completely form a new thing with new chemical properties. It is also known as a chemical change, as I've already told you, and the changes are irreversible under normal conditions, meaning that once a product is formed, it cannot go back to its original form. So the change becomes permanent. It cannot go back to its original form. For example, we have some examples here of permanent change or chemical change, like burning wood. When you burn wood, it turns into ash. But that ash cannot be turned back to wood. It is impossible. Then we also have another example, burning a piece of paper. When you burn a piece of paper, it changes into ash. But that ash cannot be turned back to original paper. There is growth and development. Once a person has grown into an adult person, you cannot go back into the other original state of childhood. Then there is a lasting of an iron, boiling an egg, vinegar and baking soda reactions, and so many others. These changes, you see that they are permanent. Once a product is formed, it is formed. It cannot go back to its original state, meaning the change is irreversible. So that is all about permanent changes. Let us look about temporary changes, or what we call physical changes, or you can say reversible changes. What is a physical change, or what is a temporary change? This is a change in which no new substance is formed. Matter can change from one state to another without altering its chemical composition. It is also known as physical change. The change is reversible, meaning that it can easily go back to its original form. No new substance is formed. Once it changes from its original form, it can easily go back to its original form. For example, we have melting of an ice. When you melt an ice, it changes or it turns into a liquid. But once you freeze that liquid, it goes back to the other solid ice. Then boiling water. When you boil water, it changes into vapor, but on condensation, it changes into a liquid. Dissolving sugar or salt in water. When you dissolve salt in water or sugar, it dissolves completely. But how can you recover back the salt? By evaporation to dryness. Melting of candle wax is also another example of temporary changes. And here we see that concept of melting a candle. It turns into a liquid, it melts and turns into a liquid. But on solidification, on cooling I mean, it forms the solid wax. Let us look at the differences between permanent and temporary changes. We say that permanent change, the change is irreversible, meaning that it cannot go back to its original state. While temporary change, the change is reversible, meaning that it can go back to its original state. Another difference is that permanent change, here we see a new substance being formed with new chemical properties. But under temporary change, no new substance is formed. A change occurs, but no new substance is formed because it can easily turn back to its original state. Then another difference is permanent change. The original reactant cannot be regained. You cannot get it back. There, while under temporary change, the original reactant can be regained, meaning that you can get it back. Then the last difference here is usually heat is absorbed or given out under permanent change, whereas in temporary change, no heat is absorbed or given out. For more information, you can follow the link below to watch the video about permanent and temporary changes. You can just click on it and it will show you how to open it. You press Ctrl and then you click and it will open and you watch the video. The video is about permanent and temporary changes. Thank you for listening and watching. I remain your instructor or your teacher, Muhindo Jennifer.